Greetings, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to It's Refreshing with Dr. Erica. I am so excited to be here on tonight, and I hope you are having a great week thus far. What about that snow? Okay. And the kids haven't been back to school since. All right. So a lot of parents right now are like, oh, no school again. So they're doing remote. But finally got some snow, and it was really nice to see because you guys know I'm originally from Buffalo, New York. So I love everything about snow. And so, how is your year going so far? Write down in the chat. Let me know how your January is going. We're almost out. This week is it. And we're running right into February. So this is a lot going on. And before I go any further, I just want to send a shout out to Kevin Glover Jr., which is the owner, operator, the boss man of this Connected Ed radio and the nonprofit as well. And if you haven't seen on Facebook, he was honored by the city of Charlotte with the Martin Luther King Jr. Award or whichever. And so that is so exciting. So we want to tell him, continue to do this awesome, amazing work. And if you have yet to be a part of anything that he has going on, make sure you look him up on social media, follow him, because he is a man, a multi-purpose man, and he's a man of many, many, many great talents. And so we want to tell him that we appreciate him in all that he's doing, because sometimes we do things and it goes unnoticed or it goes unrecognized, or we feel sometimes that we're just going and we're going through the motions, and sometimes we want to stop, especially as entrepreneurs. We want to give up, but he refuses. He's relentless, and he gives back to the children. It's all about the young people and investing in us older people. Well, let me say more mature, but investing in us more mature individuals. And he gives back to the adults as well. And so I'm just so excited for him. And I was just like, wow, that's amazing. And then I just want to say that I thank you guys, because I get overwhelmed with emails of just, you enjoy the show and you love everything about the show, and then just asking questions. So I really, really appreciate that. And if you're not following me on social media, you can follow me at ELM School of Real Estate. That's ELM School of Real Estate. That is everywhere on social media. I am not hard to find, I promise you. So make sure you do that. And if you have yet to get any copies of my book, you can get them everywhere books are sold. So make sure that you go on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, whatever you would like to do, and you can find all of the books that I've written. But tonight, okay, we have amazing, amazing, amazing guests. I am so excited because he is another boss man and very busy doing so many things. But our history dates back over a decade, and we've been friends ever since. He's a mentor to me, and when I say friend, he's really a friend. Okay, if you guys don't have any friends, you might need to find some good friends, because a friend, as they say, sticks closer than a brother. And I mean, he has invested in me. That's through business, conversation, trips, and just our business. We're in the business together, meaning real estate. That's what we know, and we're both colleagues as far as real estate instruction is concerned. But his history dates back 30 plus 35, I think, years or something like that, but he'll be able to tell you. But 35 plus years of doing not only real estate instruction as far as teaching real estate, but he was also a realtor before, and he has won numerous of awards. He is from Charlotte, so we have a native that is actually in the building, and he knows a lot of people in Charlotte. When I mean a lot of people, politicians, restaurants, we can't go anywhere without somebody saying, hey, how you doing? And all this good stuff. So he is a very, very powerful man, but also a quiet giant. He's very humble, and he's a giver. And so I'm just so excited tonight to have the wonderful, amazing, the most kindest man that I know, Mr. Bill Gallagher, is in the building.
Well, Erica McKnight, thank you for that introduction. Let's give Erica a hand. Wow, that is a great introduction. Kevin, she did a great job, don't you think? Great job with that introduction, which is great. But I need to let you know, Erica, you have been phenomenal in real estate education, in real estate. You've been phenomenal. And just to let everybody on the show know that being in education, like Erica and I have been for many, many years, we have adults that want to change careers.
Yes.
They are tired of their job. They're bored in their job. They want to make a change. And then they consider real estate. Mm-hmm. Real estate as an opportunity for doors to open to begin a new journey. And we're also having high school graduates at 18, 19, and 20-year-olds taking the pre-licensing course and therefore they want to go into real estate at that young age.
Yes.
Now, by law, they can take a course at 17, but they cannot take their North Carolina real estate exam until they are 18
Correct.
or older. But we've got a lot of young people that are energetic that want to do real estate. And let me just ask you, Erica, being in the business for so long, what is the best plan for these young adults, the high school graduates or the 25 to 28-year-olds that really want to do real estate? What kind of advice would you give them to be successful?
Yeah. He's interviewing me, by the way, now. This is what he does. I tell you, he just loves this. So for me, the best plan of action would be is that they take the course at 18, because I'm a firm believer in having multiple streams of income. So
Say that again.
Multiple.
Y'all
streams.
write that down.
Write that down.
Multiple streams of income. Diversity.
Yes, diversify.
Okay, great.
And so I'm a big believer in that. So I feel as though even if you may not be fully interested in real estate right now, it's still good to get your license, because you can always fall back on it. So the greatest plan is just to take the class. And I always tell students, you need to get the book ahead of time before you get in the class, at least 30 days in the beginning. So this way you could study some of the chapters before you actually get in the class itself, because it's a very in-depth and an intense class. And so we've been doing this for a while, and you know how people say they're going to pass, that's a whole nother story, and when that comes to power. But what I want to talk about, and we're going to park that for a moment, because we're going to
don't leave the word entrepreneur. Don't leave that word.
Yeah.
We got to come back.
We're going to come back to entrepreneur for sure. And so tell us about, I told them that you were originally from Charlotte, so you're a Charlottenian. Okay. And so tell us about Charlotte and just the rapid growth, or just walk us down your journey. Tell us who Bill is first. Tell us about Bill.
Well, I'm a native Charlottean, and I was born and raised here, and then went to elementary school at Cotswold, and then Randolph Middle, and then West Charlotte High School. Graduated in 1980. Go Lions, go. Go Lions, 1980 graduate, then went to Wake Forest and graduated in 3 years in the summer, and came back to Charlotte. And I'll tell you, you're just led. A lot of times you're just led in your life, because I was led to go to Wake Forest, accepted, and then came back. And then what was so interesting is I went to church the Sunday after I graduated, and after church, two ladies said to me this, congratulations on getting a college diploma. Now we want you to get something practical.
Wow.
And I said, something practical? After the money my parents paid and all the studying I did.
Is not cheap.
No. And they said, you need a real estate license. You need a real estate license, and you basically need to get the license, and you don't have to use it. But you have it as a good foundation for your career. To church people.
To church people.
They're Presbyterian, by the way, predestination. And so, and they said, they take a real estate class. They said, oh, by the way, we're going to start a class tomorrow. My neighbor and I, Robin and I, are going to start a class tomorrow at Century 21 Academy on Independence Boulevard. Your house is on the way to the school. Why don't we come by and pick you up and take you to real estate school Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 2 weeks?
So they were aggressive.
They were very aggressive. And I said, well, let me think about it. And guess what they said? Well, do you have a job? No. Do you have a car? No. Why not? What else do you have to do tomorrow? We'll come by and pick you up. Well, can you imagine two strange women picking Bill Gallagher up to go to real estate school Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 2 weeks? And they did. We had a great time.
Then the class was only 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 to 4.
Oh my gosh.
It was really short, sweet, and simple. And that's when the instructor smoked in the class. Oh, yes. The instructor smoked in the class. So I'm dating myself, but guess what? We had study groups after class. We worked together. We took the state exam, and we passed it at UNCC the month after you finished your class. Back then you had to wait to take it. But I'll just say, you're led. You're led. Somebody gives you some advice, what you need to do. And that's what started my career in real estate, with those two women after church. It said, you need something practical besides a college diploma. Well, what about something practical after a high school diploma too?
Wow.
Is what we're seeing.
That's
now,
lovely.
I'm going to ask you, Erica, a lot of individuals are thinking about real estate. They're motivated, but I don't think they think all aspects of real estate, because real estate can be property management.
Yes.
It can be residential and commercial. It
Mhm.
can be also sales, new
Mhm.
homes,
Mhm.
resale, land, lots, and acreage. And then you've also got new condominiums, new townhomes,
New
new
construction.
construction, and you hit a home run with new construction. Can you tell everyone how you got involved with new construction?
Yeah, I will. But what I want to revisit really quickly is what you said. Okay, if you guys are really listening, I need you to put down in the chat and remember, I want you to share this live. I want you to share it because we are going live. We are live, and we want you to be able to share it because we have a message. I mean, you heard Bill say you have to be led. That's huge because a lot of us right now we're doing things and we're not led.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody, he had his introduction. Someone told him about real estate, and you heard him say, okay, now you have the diploma, which is application, education, learning, but now you need practical. You need a practical thing to do, which is interaction, which is acting it out, which is relevant or relative to just almost almost to everybody. Okay, everybody doesn't go to college, but with a real estate license, it's practical. That can take you places that a lot of places that your diploma may not connect. It can take you to go with your degree.
Mhm.
And so that's the blessing behind God used those women to speak to you. And guess what, folks? They didn't give him an excuse. He had an excuse.
Yeah, that's right.
You had an excuse, okay?
I want to think about it.
I want to think about it. And how many of us are sitting at home right now and God sent someone to you that was leading and guiding you, and you are saying what Bill said straight up, that I'll think about it, which is kind of like maybe I'm not interested, but you never know until you do it. And so these women, they were sent by God and they told him, we're going to pick you up. He said, I don't have a car, and he said, I'm not working. So all of those things led to you getting your real estate license. And I mean, that's such a beautiful thing. I mean, because I think a lot of people overlook that God uses people, and people are very important depending on how you interact with people. Right? Doesn't that make
That's
sense?
true. And when somebody approaches you with a conversation or an idea, listen. We need to listen more to everyone around us. They have lots of information to share, words of wisdom, and I don't think we're listening. I think we block them out. We don't have time. We don't have time. We're in a rush.
Correct.
Slow down and listen to those individuals around you, family included, mamas and daddies, aunts and uncles, grandma and grandpas. Listen and see, because again, you need to be led the right way. And I will say, what I find is a lot of people don't listen. They don't listen. And I'll tell you, one test I took at CPCC was the DISC test, D-I-S-C, the personality.
Yes.
Have you taken the?
Yes,
you have. You taught it. You taught the course.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that is a phenomenal indication of what kind of profession they might want to think. Do you agree with me on this?
Absolutely. And if you guys aren't familiar with that test, you need to look it up. I mean, it's online, but it's like Bill said, it's a very informative test. It lets you know your personality traits, and it allows you to link up with people either of that like-mindedness, or you link up with people who are opposite of your DISC test. Okay. It's a psychological thing going on, a logical, analytical. It really gives you an overview of who you are as a person, meaning as you travel through life, because we all pick up things through life. And like Bill said, listen. I always tell people in class too, you have to listen and hear me. That's two different things. And so the fact that you said listening, that is so important, because like you said, we're ready to just go. And you said slow down. Okay. So those are good nuggets for you guys to take away. Slow down. I tell people I run a marathon versus sprint. Okay. Because there are times we need to sprint, but I would rather do the marathon, because the marathon, it shows your endurance. Okay. And as the marathon goes along, you learn how to build up more stamina. You know how to, if you're running a marathon through different elements, like they have all different kind of, marathons, but a marathon, you get more time to think and assess what the situation is. Everybody wants things microwave, sprinting. But if it took me 10 years to get to where I'm at, okay, and you thinking that you're going to get there overnight, you may want to think about that again. You see what I mean?
That's true. And you mentioned something earlier about diversity of job or income. A lot of individuals say, I can't afford to go in real estate. I need a real job. I need a paycheck, every 2 weeks. and some benefits, health insurance, vision, dental. Well, you've got to plan this.
That's right.
You've got to plan this. It can be done because there are night classes, there are weekend classes, there are day classes on Zoom and in person.
That's
and
right.
you're a phenomenal instructor. You've helped so many people pass the first time, which is great. But also, I need to say, they need to have additional income. Like
Yes,
when
absolutely.
I decide to go into real estate, straight commission, no
Yeah.
paycheck,
I know, I remember that.
no paycheck,
Well,
no
and
no
yeah,
insurance.
correct. And we're and honestly, as a realtor, it's still that way. It's straight commission. So when a lot of people are looking at the simple fact, like you said, they want to get into it, but when you have to have any business that you start, you should have at least a year of reserves somewhere.
Thank you.
Saved
Yes.
up. Okay, so if you guys are looking to take a big leap, keep your day job. And any type of business that you're looking to get into. But importantly, like we're talking about real estate, people have the misnomer that you guys are going to jump right into it and you're going to make six figures right away. That's not how this works. Okay. It's a lot of grinding. It's a lot
That
of,
is true.
you know, you got to grind, you got to move, you got to really put things in motion. And like you said, you got to plan. If you're not a planner, real estate may not be the game for you, because this is one that you have to plan and execute continuously on a regular, because you can't go missing. Because if you go missing, people forget about you. Okay. So you have to really do that.
Well, also, Erica, let's share with our audience new homes and new construction.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Because
We're gonna-
everybody
yeah,
says resale,
yeah,
but the builders and their incentives for their employees of the builder are
are
wonderful.
wonderful.
So please, let's address that, because
Yeah.
that's another opportunity that's out there that you can speak firsthand on.
Correct. So with that being said, what we're going to do really quickly is we're going to pay our we're going to let our sponsors, we're going to pay them, we're going to take our commercial, and then we will be right back. This is Dr. Erica with It's Refreshing. Stay tuned.
Yo, what's poppin'? It's Sam Pose. Welcome to season 2 of the Video Mixtape Show, exclusively on the Connected TV, where we're featuring some of the hottest indie and mainstream videos. We're in 80 million homes. Remember, 80 million homes on Amazon Fire TV and Roku. Artists, get your videos in. You can hit us up on IG. That's the Connected with a K, because you know some people kind of miss out on that. But with a K. Don't miss your opportunity. DM us and walk through that door, because we right here waiting on you.
I don't think
The Connected Radio plays the hottest hits from indie or mainstream artists. Artists, do you need radio play and promotions? Call us at 1-855-566-6328. The Connected Radio is the real station for the people.
All right, everybody, welcome back. If you have missed the first portion of today's broadcast or today's podcast, our live or whichever, I encourage you to go back, because my special guest, Mr. Bill Gallagher, the one and only, the real estate instructor extraordinaire, and also has been Realtor of the Year in the past and has won many accolades. He's here sharing his own personal testimony, his own personal story, and he's dropping some hot nuggets left and right. So I encourage you to go back. But without further ado, we're going to continue on with our discussion. And so Bill wants me to talk about new construction. So those of you who are listening, if you are in the market to buy a home, sell a home, by all means, make sure that you reach out. You give me a call. You can reach me at elmsuccesstrainer@gmail.com, elmsuccesstrainer@gmail.com, and I will help you buy or sell your home. And we look forward to working alongside you to make this happen. But with new construction, as Bill was talking about, new construction, a lot of people feel as though they can't buy it. They feel as though it's too expensive, or I don't have enough money to put down. And there's so many variables that people use sometimes as excuses because you don't have the knowledge, okay, that, you know, you need to get with an agent who definitely can help you buy new construction. But new construction, the builders give you incentives. They throw money at you in a sense because they want you to buy. And you can pick out your own selections if you build from the ground up. You can actually pick out your carpet, your cabinets, everything you can customize to your liking. So imagine getting a beautiful new home. You're the first one to live in it. That's phenomenal. And just becoming a homeowner is a major step as well. Wouldn't you agree, Bill?
I agree. And Erica, what I'm real worried about, everybody says, I have no down payment. I have no money to buy a new home.
Correct.
And what we need to educate everyone is that builders sometimes have preferred lenders.
Yes.
They have special incentives and special programs. And one is DPA, down payment assistance.
Yes.
Write those 3 letters down.
Write it down.
Write 3 letters. DPA. It's not a disease. It's down payment assistance.
Yes.
And down payment assistance is a fabulous program that you need to talk to your bank, where you bank, your favorite lender, your favorite loan officer. When you hear a radio ad for a lender, you need to call them and say, what about DPA, down payment assistance? And don't talk to them on the phone. Meet them face to face and let them show you how it works. Because you will be shocked how down payment assistance is different bank to bank, lender to lender, and what's the best program for you. And also some banks are giving grants, a grant where they're giving you X dollars basically. And if you live in that home for more than, let's say, 10 years, if that's their program, it basically it's forgiven.
It's forgiven.
Forgiven. Wow. And this is the opportunity I don't think people are taking advantage of. But another concern is this, the interest rate. Oh, interest rates are so high. They're so high. When I started in 1983, the rates were 18 and 19%.
Oh, wow.
You remember those days,
Did you
Erica?
guys hear that?
18 and 19%.
Wow, go that far.
And here they're about 6 and an 8 right now.
Down there about 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. And but I remember when they were 2 and 3% for a mortgage.
Rub it in.
2 and 3%. But he's correct. I mean, you were there with 18, and family members that I know, my dad's family and different things like that. They paid very high interest rates. So you're right. An interest rate, don't let that prevent you. Listen to what we're saying. Don't allow that to prevent you from home ownership, because right now you're wasting money. Charlotte's rent is so expensive right now, folks. Now, even going outside of Charlotte, the rent is expensive. A 1-bedroom, I had priced a 1-bedroom for someone the other day. A 1-bedroom, just a 1-bedroom, was already $2,100.
Oh, stop.
For a 1-bedroom. And I said, oh my gosh. Because I remember I've been here over almost 20 years. And I remember when the rent used to be $560 for a 1-bedroom or whichever. And so, again, you see the economy, folks. And housing, home ownership is the way to go. So Bill mentioned down payment assistance. More than likely, most people, they can get they get the income to be able to get it. You have to qualify through income that you make. That's the total household income. But a lot of people can qualify for the down payment assistance. That walks you right into new construction. And then most times you can get it with $1,500 out of pocket. We're talking about, this is tax season, folk, right now.
And then also think about this, Erica. The builder typically pays all of the buyer's closing costs, discount points, unbelievable, new refrigerator, new appliances, a home warranty. It's fantastic.
Everything.
But also, Erica, we need to remind our listeners that basically there's what's called a buy down.
Yes.
That builders sometimes have an incentive called buying the interest rate down. Will you please explain to them buy down, like 3-2-1 buy down, and why that's important?
Well, that's great. And thank you for asking me that question. I told you guys he was going to be interviewing me too. So the buy down, you start at the builder will help you buy it down. Okay. So what we do is that we buy the interest rate down. They give you money to buy it down some points. So let's use the 5%.
So you 6.
Okay.
Because that turns me on. 6 is even. 6%. I like an even number.
Even number. So 6%. So the builder gives money and says, okay, I'll buy their interest rate down to about 4%. And it'll cost them maybe $1,500 for each particular.
The builder pays.
The builder pays for each particular point. So even though we're saying the interest rate is 6%, if they're saying they're going to buy your interest rate down, they'll buy it down to the 4%. So that gives us $3,000 that the builder has used to be able to bring your interest rate to 4%. And that will be 4% over the lifetime of the loan if you choose to do it that way.
Or it could be 3-2-1.
Correct. Or it could be 3-2-1 to where it fluctuates each year, meaning that it caps off. So let's say if we started out at 4, okay, then it goes to 5, and then it goes back to 6.
It stays
at 6 for the duration of the 20, let's say the 27 years of the remaining, if you do a 30-year mortgage. So that is important to know, because there's options. In new construction, you have plenty of options, and in resale, meaning if you want to buy a home that is already existing, that someone lives in, you have options there too. But new construction, they have the flexibility to get people in homes at affordable monthly payments where you don't have to waste your money for rent. Because guess what? When you file your taxes as a renter, you're not getting any type of incentives by paying rent. And that money you're not getting back. And guess what? A lot of you have experienced that your rent has increased year after year after year by hundreds of dollars. Okay. Whereas with a mortgage, you can file your taxes and you can write that off.
And you know, I love what you just said, that your rent could increase year after year after year. If you were in a home, your new home could appreciate year after year
That's
after
good.
year,
Yes.
which shows a growth in equity. You've got
Exactly.
equity in your home.
Yes.
Value minus debt is equity. But also, Erica, when you said year after year, a lot of people will say, I'm not going to buy now because interest rates are too high. Well, there's a philosophy out there is buy the house and date the rate. Buy the house and date the rate.
Put that down in the chat.
Buy the house
date the
today
rate.
at this value with the builder's price today. And therefore, basically, the builder buys it down, whatever, 3, 2, 1,
Mhm.
and then goes back, let's say, to 6, like you said. And then basically, bottom line, they could refinance.
Yes.
If the rates go higher, the rates go lower, whatever. And by the way, date the rate means you can always refi.
Correct.
Also, buy the house means this: you make your money when you buy the house,
When you buy the house.
not
Correct.
when you sell it. Write
Come
this
on.
down. You make your money when you
Tell 'em
buy the house. Buy the house is when you make your, not when you sell it, because you better buy it at the right price.
Mhm.
The right price, the right time,
Right time.
especially with new developments, especially when phase 2 is getting ready to open up.
Exactly.
A lot of builders have lots on a cul-de-sac that you could
Mhm.
basically, the buyer could buy a home to be built on that lot. And while that home is being built for 6 months, the buyer's already locked into the price the first
Exactly.
month.
The first month.
Therefore, guess what we found, Erica, and you've seen this in new homes, that first-time home buyer bought the home, let's just say at $250,000, and by the 6 months later, it's now worth $310.
Yes, yes. And that's powerful what you're saying, because again, Bill just put it in layman's terms. He just showed you what I meant by the options that you have in new construction. And like he just said, your home appreciates. This is why you need an educated real estate agent like myself, okay, that can get you in and that takes you to the right builder. That's important, because every builder, every agent is not created equal. So we all are knowledgeable in certain areas. And so the good thing about that is, like he said, your home appreciates. So imagine walking into equity, as Bill just explained to you. And then later on a year, as he explained, how you're thousands and thousands. Charlotte's market is increasing rapidly. These homes are
Mhm.
selling for more than people could possibly ever imagine. Okay. You can literally retire if you buy your home right.
Exactly. And also, Erica, and I know you've taught this a lot and you've really preached this, is basically bottom line, when you buy your home, it's the largest investment of your
Yes.
life.
Mhm.
It's like a stock, bond,
Mhm.
mutual fund annuity, and you want to do really well with it, which goes back to location. And by the way, you and I both know in new home neighborhoods, cul-de-sac lots are fabulous and fantastic.
Correct.
So it's not just the location of the neighborhood, it's also the location in that community on the backside, cul-de-sac, corner lot is great. And just see how the builders price their lots,
Exactly.
because that shows you your value too. But also I was going to ask you too, to address this, because this is so very important, is that a lot of times people will say, well, I might want more room. I might want to have a larger family, and they want to sell. Well, a lot of people don't realize in the current IRS tax code that you have a primary residence where you
Mhm.
live and reside, and you live there 2 years. How long? 2 years. 2 years.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you sell it and have a gain, it's tax-free gain.
Mhm.
Tax-free.
gain.
Tax-free people, not tax deferred, tax-free.
Correct.
And if you're single, your gain is tax-free up to $250,000 gain. Married, filing joint up to $500,000. Now, y'all might say those are big numbers, but that could be a $20,000 gain. It's
That's
up
right.
too.
It's up
And
too.
Erica, I don't think the American public understands what Congress did for us in residential sales, how these tax-free gains are wonderful on your primary residence.
Resident.
They could buy and sell a house every what?
Every 2
2 years.
Yeah. And that's powerful. I mean, that's
If they want to sell.
If
They might
wanna
not want to
yeah.
sell, but they
Yeah,
do
but
want
that's
to
the
sell.
blessing behind it. You only have to live there. And like you said, if your family is growing, what do? You sell that and you've made thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars off of it, and you use some of that to put down on the larger home. And guess what? If you buy a second new construction home, larger, you're even walking into equity potentially with that, okay? And then the next thing you know, you making money off of that home. So I mean, real estate is the only, in my opinion, is the only investment that pays you while you're sleeping. If you
Say that
it's
again.
the only investment that pays you while you're sleeping.
Kevin, that is phenomenal. Is the only investment that pays you while you're sleeping. Oh,
And because the market is forever changing. And if you buy in the right location, it's making you money.
and the right price.
Okay, because let me in the right price. Because let me give you a quick example. When you're thinking about stocks and bonds, that fluctuates. Okay. And some people lose money sometimes, lots of money off of stocks and bonds, and some people gain. But at the same time, you don't get the type of return from stocks and bonds that you get from real estate. And every person that you know that is right now a billionaire, seven-figure, multimillionaire, whichever, every entertainer, most in part, every athlete, politicians, they own real estate. And they tell you all the time, we need you to invest in real estate. They leave real estate to their children because they know that that is the greatest asset. So if you're listening closely, we want you to be listening and hearing us, because at least you take, I want to charge you today. I want to put a charge on you today to say, at least step out and see if you can purchase real estate. What's the worst that can happen?
And the first step is they've got to talk to a loan officer,
Yeah.
Erica, a lender.
Or you call me,
Erica.
or you call me, I'll set you up with everybody. We're a one-stop shop. Okay. We're not going to give you, we're not going to allow any excuses. We got it all set up. We got the blueprint. All you need to do is make the phone call or send the email. Okay. And with saying that, we're going to take our very next break, and we're going to keep on moving with this wonderful discussion with Mr. Bill Gallagher. This is Dr. Erica with It's Refreshing, and I'm so glad you're tuning in on tonight.
Are you a content creator looking for a home for your movies, TV shows, podcasts, or more? Well, I have the perfect home for you. It's called Connected TV, which is in over 180 million homes on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. I see you like those numbers, so don't wait. Call us today at 1-855-566-6328, extension 5. We have very affordable rates. Don't let your hard work you put into your content go unnoticed.
Back to It's Refreshing with Dr. Erica, and I am back with my guest, Mr. Bill Gallagher. As I stated, the real estate instructor extraordinaire, and he is here giving us all kind of tips. He's interviewing me, by the way, but we're sitting here and we're dropping the gems for you. You go back and listen to the replay. So let's pivot a little bit. Let's do a little pivot, and let's just talk about life in general. Okay. Life, because you've been doing this for so long and you've met so many people. I mean, from all walks of life and from all industries and everything like that. And what would you say to our listeners and viewers on tonight? What are some things or some stories that you can tell us about, like some incredible people that you have met that have left you with some not only life lessons, but some different principles that you have, applied to your life currently? Who would, share that with us?
Well, I think an individual needs to be involved in their community. They need to have community involvement, either through church or civic or organization, neighborhood group.
Nice.
And I think that is so important because a lot of people just work 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and they don't experience the community, the neighborhood. And I think community involvement is wonderful because you got to give back.
Yes.
This is where a lot of people in Charlotte will judge you if you are a real estate agent. How have you given back to Charlotte? What have you done to give back to Mecklenburg County? Not just take from, but give back. And I think everybody should have 2 or 3 ways of giving back. How do you give back? Red Cross, Salvation Army, Nourish Up, Habitat for Humanity, Homeless Shelter. We've got a lot of ways to give back. And I think that helps the individual sense the needs of people. The needs of people, I think, is critical. And guess what? Shelter is the basic human need.
Amen.
Shelter is the basic human need. If it's an apartment or a rental or a duplex or an apartment building, we all need shelter. And I
Mhm.
think we all need to go back to the basics, because a lot of times when you drive around and you see homeless individuals out, on a sidewalk or with a grocery cart, you kind of go back to the basics. Wow, what could I do
Correct.
to help that individual improve their life? They need a break. So I think that's very important for everyone to have an activity community to support and also enjoy, but also learn is so
Yes.
critical here. And then also, to tell you one story that a lot of people will ask you is like, what affected you a lot? Well, it was basically when I was going into real estate, I did not have a job because there was no income.
Correct.
So I went to real estate, and then lo and behold, the phone rings, and an individual says, "Will you come? We've been given your name by Betty Ruth Barker,
Not
your
Betty Ruth.
fourth
Okay.
director at Christian Education. We'd like to start a worship readiness program
Wow.
for our 4 and 5-year-olds. Would you be interested in coming to talk to us about developing a worship readiness program for our 4 and 5-year-olds at a church here in Charlotte?"
Mhm.
And I said, "Yeah, I would love to." So I went and met with the group. We talked about what they wanted, and they did not want their 4 and 5-year-olds with an individual, a grandma incorporated.
Oh,
They
wow.
wanted education, come to church, enrichment, story, song, prayer, scripture, and craft.
Mm.
So I developed that program for 15 years.
Wow.
15 years.
15 years.
And it was fantastic. I loved it. And I sold real estate, but I did the program too
Uh-huh.
on Sunday morning during their church hour from 10:30 to 12. And it was really great because I got to see the parents, got to see the children, and also I got to see how the children grew
Wow.
and how
Over
the
time.
parents love seeing their child grow.
Yes.
Oh, it was huge to see the parental support for these children. And therefore, what happened was interesting is that I got a call from a community college math department chair.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I said, "Mr. Gallagher, listen, I just want you to know I'm chair of a community college math department. Would you be interested in teaching basically finance 3314 and 3315? I said, "Well, thank you for calling me,
Uh-huh.
but I don't have a teaching certificate."
Mhm.
And he says, "Well, you got a diploma from Wake Forest in business and accounting. I think that satisfies me."
Yeah.
And I make the decision, equivalent experience.
Oh my
I
gosh.
said, "Well, thank you." I said, "Well, how do you know me or how I teach?"
Uh-huh.
"My daughter is in your 4-year-old
Oh
worship
my
readiness class.
gosh.
My wife and I, and she's a teacher at Myers Park High, and I'm at a community college, have
Mhm.
watched you work with these children, work with the parents, and help watch them grow and learn in church." And basically, bottom line, in terms of separation from parent,
Yeah.
which is so important that there be some
Correct.
separation from the child and the parent, especially in church. And basically, bottom line, it's not separation negatively, it's independence.
Independence.
It's
correct.
independence.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, see how it grew going into real estate.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
And then getting
See
the
the
phone call,
storyline? Yes.
to come do a children's worship program for these children, and then also teach at the community college.
Mm-hmm.
And I taught there, y'all, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:30 to 8:20,
Oh my
8:30 to
gosh.
9:20, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But I can do real estate after that and
After
at
that,
night.
At night.
That's why you need to have a diversity of income.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
you're going to real estate,
Yeah.
you just can't put all your eggs
Exactly.
in one basket. And by the way, Erica, you've always been a hard worker. You have been a go-getter. I mean, where do you get all your energy from, Erica?
Well, I mean, first of all, let me just say that's huge, because I would have probably been afraid. I'm saying or a little reluctant for 4 to 5 years. I mean, that's too little for me.
Oh, it's
I
too
mean,
little for you.
There was some little kids, but because that's a major task, but that helped you develop a lot in you, patience for one, I'm sure. But that's a very phenomenal story, because like you said, let me say this really quickly. People are always watching you.
Yes, they
And
are.
it's so important that we understand you are being watched when you don't even know you're being watched. And I always tell my students, and I tell my children all the time, that if you do what is right, and you always doing what is right, you don't have to worry about people finding anything wrong,
Right.
because you're doing what you know is right,
Mhm.
even when no one's looking. So you were doing what was right, and unbeknownst to you, all of a sudden that gives you income. You went from no income, or very little, to now you got a whole job at a community college. And then when God sets it up, God sent you the actual person that made the decision, that didn't have to discuss it with anybody else. He talked directly to you and he made the decision. This is so powerful. And I mean, I love that. I love that you shared that, because when we believe in something, so the segue into what you're asking me about, where do I get that? Where do I get this, determination
drive,
and the energy and the
determination.
drive and the persistence and things like that? It's because I remember I remember where I came from. Let me say that.
Mhm.
And I tell people all the time, I didn't like being broke. And what I mean by that is broke is not fun.
Mhm.
It's not, it doesn't do anything for you. And it's not a humbling experience when you know within yourself that you can come out of brokenness. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. And so what I do is I'm a person of affirmation. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna be determined to change my generation
Mhm.
and my family. I'm gonna be determined to build a legacy for my children. And what my parents and stuff couldn't do, they worked hard. They instilled all of that into me. This is where it came from. So when you ask where it came from, it starts with your parents. And my parents
That's
were
right.
that way. My parents had good income jobs, meaning they went after those jobs. It wasn't given to them, and they worked towards it, and they put that in me. And I'm a person, I refuse to accept no, because no is a complete sentence, but after the no, there is going to eventually be an answer to yes. We just have to keep going. And so I refuse to accept that. And so in my business or in what I do in life in general, when you tell me no, I figure out another way to get it done. And that just means no from you. Doesn't mean no from the other two people and the other people that I'm going to speak to. They may eventually say yes. And I have eventually got to the yes. And then let me say this to you guys, everybody who's listening and hearing this. Once you get to a point to where you build your name and you build your brand, like Bill is, I mean, you could just Google Bill Gallagher. I'm telling you, it's just phenomenal what you'll read about him. And he comes across, and he is very humble, but he comes across very, in the background. Okay. But he has this presence. It's a huge presence in all of North Carolina, really. And so when you Google him, you'll see like, wow. But once you build your brand, and you are known for certain things, the yes is already there.
The yes
The
is there.
yes is there.
The
You
yes
just
is
show
there.
up. So now I'm at a place in my career that the demand comes for me. You see what I mean? They come for me. And what Erica does is I'm at a place to where I say yes or no. Just like how when I started, I was getting no or yes. And so I have the ability to make sure that my career does what it needs to do. We all have the ability to become whatever it is we want to become. You just can't stop. You just can't give up. And you just have to keep going forward. If you know that it's meant for you, it's going to be for you.
And I really like what you said. People are watching you.
Yes.
Everyone is watching you and making a determination of your highest and best use, determination if you'll be successful or not,
Correct.
thumbs up, thumbs down. And that's why I think it's so important that you're so involved with a lot of different activities. And by the way, somebody might say, well, how could he teach 4 and 5-year-olds? Does he have a diploma in childhood education?
Exactly.
No,
But God. Yeah.
And when I was 11 years old, I was a preschool day camp counselor
nice.
at my church. When I was 11 to 18, I
So
worked
God was
preschool day
preparing
camp.
you. Yeah.
And I basically taught the older 2s, the 3s, the 4s, the 5s. So that's where I got my experience
Wow.
with young children, preschool
Yes,
day camp,
yes.
but also seeing how the parents interacted with their students, with their kids, and then how the parents appreciated the teachers.
Correct.
We got gifts. The parents, after our summer day camp was over after 8 weeks, gave us gifts and candy and said, thank you for helping my child.
Nice.
Now, guess what? These children, 4-year-olds, are now 44.
Yeah, and they remember.
They
'Cause
remember.
You sowed the seed into them. And then what I really want to say too, I forgot this point. You said community and civic. We are supposed to give back. That's what makes our sense of being. I'm going to say for myself, when I give back, and how yours was at 11 years old. You had no idea that, several years later that God was going to have you teaching these young people. And so in our life, when we look back, we can see
Yes.
where we is being prepared for where we are now. And so I encourage you all to look into your life right now And it doesn't have to all be great. It doesn't have to be warm and fuzzy. But what can you learn from it? What could you take from that? How can you take that into the next phase of your life? Because remember, one thing is true that we all know is that life is changing, forever changing, whether we're ready or not. Wouldn't you agree with that, Bill?
Absolutely.
Okay. Life is changing, and you got to change with the times, or you are going to be left behind, and you will potentially be far left behind, and you're so far behind that you can't even catch up. So this is what we don't want to do, and the seasons are guaranteed to change. I was telling a young lady the other day is that in seasons, we have to pull something different out of us each season. And that's why the seasons have different climates in the seasons, okay? Because we are pulling something out of us, or we're releasing something in every single season. So we don't have to wait until January to say, oh, this is my New Year resolution. No, you should be analyzing yourself monthly. You should be really taking inventory of yourself daily if you need to, or quarterly, whatever works for you, but just do it. Don't just stay. You should never be the same place you are this year as you was last year or 6 months from now. Something must get better. Something has to get better.
And something we need to think about too, Erica, because when you want to make change and somebody is watching, observing you, say sometimes are negative.
Correct.
I think we need to have an adult class on how to handle negativity.
Yeah.
Because again, a lot of times people can be negative and just tell you you're going the wrong direction. You'll never be good in sales. And here we've taken the DISC test. We felt good about it, the determination. But also when people say something negative, a lot of times you take it, thank you for your feedback, and talk to somebody else.
Correct.
Yeah, if somebody says negative, then talk to somebody else.
Correct.
And also with the negativity, we've taught this technique, FIMO, forget it and move on. Forget it and move on. If somebody's really negative and says you're too young at 22 years old to list and sell real estate, you're too young. Well, guess what my broker in charge taught me to say? Yes, I am. I graduated from Wake Forest in 1983, and I've just been trained, and I have the latest knowledge and information and energy to help you get the best possible price, shortest period of time, least inconvenience. I've just been trained, and I have the latest knowledge and information to help you. Oh,
and that is a wonder. Oh my gosh, that's huge. And I'm so glad that you said that, because the negativity is going to come.
Yeah.
I tell people haters are your motivation. They really are. And the haters are what you need, because they give you free advertisement. They really do. They give you free advertisement, and them haters can potentially push you into the right people that need to connect you to the very next season. So negativity, if you haven't got my book, it's called Silence the Noise, Uninstalling Negativity. So Bill was right on top of that one. Yeah, grab that book, because you have to uninstall that. It's just like a computer that gets a virus. You come and you wipe out the virus, because you will have people telling you what you cannot do. If I would have listened to everybody, and even currently, let me say, and that's family, friend, husband, cousin, auntie, like you said, grandma and grandpa, it don't matter. If I would have listened to the people that told me I couldn't do this was never going to happen, and say it currently, I would not even do what I do. I would have killed. They would literally have tried. People have tried to kill my dreams. And I have said to myself, once you get the one dream and you accomplish the one dream, all that other stuff that they say no longer matters, because then you go after the next dream and the next dream, and it becomes an addiction. So everybody who knows me, they know I'm fireproof. I really don't even hear you. Not that I was even listening before, because I'm not that type of person, meaning that if people come to me and share their dream, I encourage them. I say, what can I do to help?
That's it. Support them. Work with them, not against them.
And guess what? If it don't work, they'll figure out why it didn't work. I'm not here to tell you what you cannot do. Okay. If we would tell Michael Jordan that, if we would tell Bill Gates that, if we would have told, so many other phenomenal people that we know not to do. Matter of fact, if you would have, what was his name? The Apple man, the one that passed away. Anyway, the guy who invented Apple. These Apple phones that everybody goes crazy over. You would never have that if he would. Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs. If Steve Jobs would have never done that, you wouldn't have an Apple phone or an iPad, earbuds, whatever. So we have to look at life and assess the situation, but go after your dream. So with that all being said, Bill, what are your final words that you will want to leave with our
Absolutely.
audience?
This is 2026.
Yes, I know,
2026.
2026.
And we've got a lot more years to go.
Oh,
And I
thank
would
you,
just
Lord.
say a lot of times what happens is that you got to have your own sphere of influence, your own sphere of influence of people who support you,
Correct.
that you know, you love, you like, they'll support you. What I'm really concerned about is the negativity of sometimes the media, the press, the newspapers. I mean, sometimes when you read what you read, it's kind of a downer.
Correct.
But on the other hand, it's what can we do to improve this? What can Charlotte do to improve this? What can Mecklenburg County do to improve this? So I think we need to move into an attitude of, well, if this is the issue, what's our solution?
That's right.
What's our plan?
Solution-based.
How can we work
Absolutely.
together with local government, city government to help these individuals?
That's right.
And where's the community here? We can't just say government needs to do this
The
or a
community.
church needs, the whole community needs to do this and work together. And that's what Charlotte has always been about.
Wow.
Is working together
Working
with
together.
all our previous mayors. They were all wonderful and working with all areas of the city, not just one or two. And that's what we've been blessed with. Wonderful mayors, wonderful city council that have passion, that want to make sure this area survives. And we
Yes.
are. We're one of the most sought out
Sought
places
after
to live.
cities. I mean, Charlotte is like in huge demand.
Huge demand. And we have to say thank you to our mothers and fathers who have served in government before, that have led us in this direction.
That's
too.
right.
So you've got to say thank you, but also listen and get involved. That's what we need to do, is get involved. You'll meet so many, like you have, Erica, with builders and relationships. You've met so many people in government,
Correct.
local and city, Union County, Mecklenburg
Yes.
County,
Mhm.
Gastonia. You know so many people of influence. And that's how you meet some movers and shakers that can help you help everybody.
Oh, that's so good. Oh my gosh, I love that, because community. And like Bill said, get involved, everybody, because it'll make you selfless. If you get involved, you become you meet so many nice, wonderful people. And like Bill said, the media is always going to show what makes the media money. Okay. And sometimes community doesn't make media a lot of money attention there, but community can start right in your own home. It can lead to your children's school. It could be just a community in your neighborhood, as Bill was saying earlier. So we have ways to do this, because I tell you, once you join a community, as he said, your sphere of influence, you will be so, you'll be so delighted that you did. And now these people will sometimes become your family. Okay. That's how Bill and I met. We're in a community where we gleam off of one another. We run ideas we bounce ideas off of one another. You need that in your life. So if you don't have any friends, or if you don't have, and when I say friends, I mean people who really want to see you do well in life. If you don't have those type of people in your sphere of influence, as Bill just said, then you might want to reassess who's around you, because who's around you is who's going to take us to the next level. Okay. And you don't need a lot of people. I always tell people quality over quantity. It's always that important. So we want to thank Mr. Bill Gallagher for coming on
Well,
today.
thank you,
This was
Erica,
so
Dr.
amazing.
McKnight,
I know, right?
Brown, we appreciate the doctor having Bill Gallagher
Having Bill
come
Gallagher.
talk. That was great.
I mean, he's so phenomenal. And if you want more of Bill, you can just, like I said, Google him. He's on Facebook. He's on LinkedIn. You can find him anywhere. Okay. He's a wealth of information. And I just want to thank you guys for joining us on tonight. This was a wonderful session. Please replay it, share it. And I just thank you. And thank you for joining us on tonight. We want to thank Connected Ed for this wonderful evening, and stay tuned. It's refreshing.
Content creator looking for a home for your movies, TV shows, podcasts, or more? Well, I have the perfect home for you. It's called Connected